Good evening, fellow Kenyans. Today is a day like no other. We are gathered here to give you the NASA dream for the people of Kenya. We know that the challenges that face security in this country are born out of bad governance, poor leadership. Our police force is demoralized, is demotivated, and sometimes end up venting anger on the very people they're supposed to protect. We as NASA are going to ensure, one, that we have an adequate population police ratio to cater for our security. We'll continue with the reforms that the Constitution 2010 envisaged in making a police force turned into a police service that is going to serve the people of this country. We will ensure our policemen and women are not only well trained, but are well paid and are given adequate and proper housing. I do remember when I was a young person at the University of Nairobi, I had an uncle who was a policeman. And every time I visited him, they used to live in structures called uni-huts. And there will be 4 families sharing one round uni-hut separated by a piece of cloth. You do not expect an officer treated like that to go out there and put his entire life at the defense of other Kenyans. This will change with NASA. When we opened this discussion and conversation, you saw a Kenyan from Mandera talking about the challenges of security in that part of the country. Part of the problem is our continuing engagement in our neighboring country, Somalia, without proper strategy. NASA, in collaboration with international partners and regional players, will embark on a phased withdrawal from Somalia to bring back our soldiers to protect the territorial integrity of our nation from our soil and not anywhere else. When our worst competitors came into power, you remember they went around yapping that they were digital. They told Kenyans they will be able to give children laptops without planning on how those laptops will be distributed, stored, or even the teachers to teach the children. The NASA government will ensure, one, that there will be adequate training for ICT teachers for all schools. Number 2, the NASA government, in collaboration with all county governments, will ensure that each and every school has a constructed and properly equipped computer lab from where children will be able to learn and be ICT compliant. That is the only way we can be able to build a nation from childhood with a smart economy that is around the corner, being able to be compliant with ICT. The NASA government, in our plan for the people of Kenya, will ensure that NGOs in this country are truly NGOs, non-governmental. You have seen the NGO Coordination Council turning itself into a policeman against NGOs other than a coordinator for NGOs. This will not happen under the NASA government, because non-governmental organizations play a critical role in partnering with and augmenting government efforts in developing the people of this country. As NASA, we are going to ensure that this country has an equitable level of development. Imagine what we see in a county like Turkana, where we saw a policeman with a Kalashnikov in a class purporting to teach children because there are no trained teachers there. And at the end of the year, that child has to sit the same exam with a child from Kilimani Junior Academy, from Nairobi Primary, and from the academies around the country. That is confining the children from marginalized areas to permanent poverty, permanent exclusion, and they will never get to compete with the rest of Kenyans in achieving the Kenyan dream. For the NASA government, a child in Turkana, a child in Mandera, a child in Moyale, we shall strive to ensure that those children access and enjoy equal opportunities and equal facilities for education in this country. Then at the end of the day, we can say our children can face a common exam and be able to compete. Lastly, in this country, we have had the problem of leaders who are governors. We don't have leaders who serve. Even when you see our brothers saying tuko pamoja, wako pamoja hapo juu na wananchi wako hapa chini. The NASA government, led by our distinguished presidential candidate and the incoming 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga, and his deputy, Kalonzo Musyoka, and all of us are going to serve the people of Kenya and not to rule the people of Kenya. We are going to ensure that everybody in this country has importance, has appreciation, has a role, and has a duty to make Kenya a better place to live in. And this will happen, just to repeat what my brother Isaac Karuto said, by taking sufficient resources from the center to the counties to ensure that in part that will arrest urban migration. The counties will be able to set up industries, and you will never see under the NASA government a President Raila Amolo Odinga running around the country carrying public checks from the treasury to give to people to say this is development. We shall have a system that works. We shall have a system that responds. We'll have a system that achieves. And we shall have a system that the people of Kenya will not only have a sense of appreciation, but a sense of ownership, a sense of belonging, and above all, we will be able then to create one big, happy family called Kenya. Long live Kenya.